What up, naughty steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and it's time to review all of your suggestions. Ever since I started this channel at the end of last year, I've had suggestion upon suggestion to either check out or review. And with 2018 drawing to a close and the releases drying up a little, I felt like now would be a perfect time to hear some of those suggestions and give my opinions on them. So yeah, no fucking around here, just gonna listen to a load of tracks that you guys have sent in and go from there. Massive thanks to everyone that sent in tracks. I received a lot of songs here and I'm gonna go through the ones I've heard least about. If I've even heard the artist's name before, then I'm not gonna check it out. There's enough stuff I've never even heard uttered here before, so good recommending, guys. Gonna try and fit in as many as I can before my SD card runs out of memory and my camera runs out of battery. Lastly, big thanks to Naruto from Tokyo Ghoul, aka Wally Wobble, for suggesting this idea on Instagram when I reached out for some video ideas only a few days ago. This will be another exception video in that it will have music in it. I just think it's particularly appropriate for this video as it's a special one involving you guys directly. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is play the music out loud and then react and review it on the spot. Apologies if some of them are a bit short in terms of the coverage in this video, but I want to fit in as many as possible whilst not making this video too long, if you get my Tokyo drift. So yeah, here we go, and first off we have Snap by Silence, sent in by the man Silence himself. I like this a lot. What's going on? Very nice, very eerie introduction. Yeah, really appreciating that. And including this bit with the piano, actually. Some really good ideas. Drop needed a little bit more fleshing out in terms of the percussion, I think. And some of the space could have done with filling a bit more. But I think the ideas are great, and the atmosphere, the general atmosphere of this track is really pretty spot on. See, little bits like that are just so good for creating that general atmosphere and embellishing the overall feeling that was set up in the introduction. Okay, nice one. The track length is really good as well. It leaves it as a really impactful kind of standalone single kind of thing. I also liked the change up for the second drop. I thought that was much more filled out and felt fuller. So yeah, good track. I look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Next we have The Silent Chief by Wave, sent in by Robofo X56. Oh, apologies, it's actually with Virusoid as well. So Wave and Virusoid, The Silent Chief.
Hello, brave one. I am Yurt, the Silent Chief. I am an assassin. My work in Volataria is almost complete. I have murdered every surviving human.
Oh.
I do not forget those who do me wrong.
Oh yeah, go on then. This is savagery, I love it. Okay, that introduction was fucking sick. Drop is very good and I like the general idea of it again, but a little bit blinding for me. I wouldn't say completely that it isn't for me, but it slightly edges on the more blinding side of like death steppy kind of music. So I can definitely listen to it, but at points it's like a bit... those squealing sounds. But I mean, for what it is, I think this track is a very, very good one. Vocal samples are so on point, and it knows how to progress throughout the track. It's very aware of itself structurally. To be honest, overall, this one is making me want to hear that EP in full very much so. I mean, even though the drops are a little bit... they are pretty full on, but I appreciate that about it because that's the idea that it's trying to sell. And knowing that it would be like that for the rest of the EP pretty much makes me want to hear the thing in its entirety, and someone did recommend the whole EP to me, so I'm definitely going to go and check it out. Okay, next we have Tephra and Dr4 with Breaking Dreams, sent in by the one and only Mr. Pungent Towel. Really liking that chugging bass, man. That's good, I like that. This is good, I like this quite a bit.
1, 2, 3, go!
The first things that come to mind with this track is that the sounds used are really good. Like, they sound proper meaty and it sounds like a proper dubstep track in that respect, but I think some of the ideas could have been stuck with for a little longer. See, that's a really good development as well. That staggered, like... Yeah, it's good. I really like it. It's got energy and personality and character and flavour to it. It's got a lot to offer. There's a lot going on, which is great. Ah, Jesse. Ah, Jesse. Not quite as much flavour as the dubstep in the first half of the track, but again, some really very crazy sounds being used here that are really riveting and sort of attention-grabbing. Good stuff. Some sounds here are a little bit more jarring. They don't quite fit in with the flavoursome ideals that this track has running or sort of permeating throughout it for the most part. One thing I would say about it again is that it's a little bit too long, I think. I think it could have been slightly condensed. But, you know, if you guys were potentially, I don't know, up for doing a VIP of this track and maybe making the ideas a bit shorter or choosing your favourite ones and then making it into a slightly smaller track, coming after this one, obviously, and paying respect to the original, I think that would be cool. But yeah, that is a good track. Well done, guys. Next up, we have Ijona by Def Sharp, sent in by Bad108. Really liking the somber atmosphere created here in this introduction. Ooh, yeah. I think the drop in and of itself is good, but I do think that it came slightly out of nowhere considering the scene that was set by the introduction. This is a very nice drop and it progresses well and it's got a nice sense of emotion to it. I just feel like it's a track in and of itself in comparison or after, the introduction. Just stands in complete juxtaposition with that drop. I just think there's such a stark difference between the introduction and midsection and then the two drops. Overall, I think the ideas are really good in this track. It's just bringing them together. I'm not sure it entirely works, but then again, looking through the comments of this track, a lot of people love that about it. So I suppose, yeah, it works for some people and others not, but fundamentally, some very good ideas in this track. Following on from that, we have Storyboard and Geeky with Fortitude VIP, sent in by Geeky himself, and also Sidney Crosby 420. I had this song favourited already, so I knew of it. But seeing as it was requested by two people, I'll get on it now. Nice. Very nice.
You're fucking evil.
Yeah, go on then. Not sure about those talk snares, but aside from that, a very good bringing together of sounds. Proper cinematic bro step kind of music. I'm all about that, you know me. Properly uplifting, but also heavy at the same time. It's a really good mix they've got going on here. All the components coming together very well for the most part. Not too big on those screechy sounds. I think they're a little bit out of place, but pretty much across the board here, we've got some really, really moving stuff. Like, just have to give a shout out to all those isolated wubs at the start of each drop, or growls. They might have been growls, but anyway, very nice sounds, and overall a very picturesque and lovely to listen to Brostep track. I really enjoyed that. A couple bits, as I said, that I wasn't too keen on, but that's me being, you know, the pernickety music analyzer that I am. Overall, a very good track. Next up, we have The Unseelie Court by ESATA, which I think, to my knowledge, is on the same compilation as the Tephra and Dr4 track. So yeah, maybe it'll be along the same sort of lines, but let's get into it. I like the spooky vocal sample. I think the drums need a bit of fleshing out. Some nice sounds here, and I think the idea and what the track's going for works quite well. But yeah, I think, you know, for the most part, the sounds just need a little bit more fleshing out and kind of bringing to life. Sort of HDified, if you will. You know, these are the kind of things that come with time and practice and listening to as much music as you can, just to kind of understand the ways in which the top producers out there kind of make their sounds as colourful in their natural state. It just needs a little bit more going on, in my opinion. As I said, some of the sounds used here are actually really like good and riveting and what you would want in a dubstep track of this sort. But yeah, just points where a little bit more needs to happen. Very nice twinkly outro going on here. I think that kind of adheres and works to the overall theme delivered by that track. But yeah, again, like I said with the Tephra one, I mean, if you find yourself Mr. ESATA getting better over time, then I think you should return to this track and maybe VIP it, because there are some good sounds in there, and you could just do something entirely different and new with those ideas in that track and kind of give it a bit of a rejuvenation or renovation, if you will. So yeah, that's my thoughts on those. Next we have Welcome to My Dungeon by Uproot, suggested by Mr. Uproot himself. So here we go. Oh, I like that. Maybe done a few too many times, I would say, in this build. I think with this one, there's a really good energy to it. It has your attention at all times. And again, there are some good sounds on show, but they do just need that fleshing out once again. And this will come with time and practice for sure. I like that. It's a track of very nice sounds that just needs a bit of fleshing out and work on the transitioning between different sequences. Next up, we have Panties by Catfish, sent in by Catfish Sounds himself or herself. I mean, that is the literal definition of the word naughty. So well done, Mr. Catfish. So far, I think pretty good. In this one, I'm really enjoying the dynamic between the sounds on show. Just generally a pretty good amalgamation of sounds, I think. Does need a bit of work, again, on the kind of fleshing out of them. The ideas generally running through this track are pretty on point. Oh, yeah! Yeah, I like that. That's a very good switch up. Potentially a bit of musicality underneath the dubstep to kind of give it a bit more flavour, personality, character. But overall, yeah, it's a good track, and one that I think shows a lot of promise for Catfish going forward. Yeah, check it out. Alright, next we have Greyhound by Moonbase Commander, sent in by my very good friend, Mr. August Ford. Oh, I like it already. Oi, go on then. Oh, I really like the way this one's been put together. Is this a build, or is that the drop, or is it... Oh no. It's got its heavy elements while still being relatively chilled. It's got that nice kind of breakbeat feel to it. Nice like bounce and energy going through it. Overall, man, it's just a bop, really, isn't it? I mean, you can't... It's impossible not to move along to it. Decent track. Like it. Solid. Makes me want to listen to the rest of the EP. Next up, we have Caval and Mr. Elkins with Nasty Insects, and that has been sent in by Mr. Guillaume Sioni. Please tell me if I pronounced that right, sir. If I didn't, then give me a naughty snap on the hand. On SoundCloud it says it's just by Mr. Elkins. I don't know if that's right, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Very contorted and twisted and muddy almost. I'm appreciating the sound design a lot here. Some very well-defined sounds. Nothing quite smacking me in the face about it, ideas-wise. But I think the sound very much carries it through. I like the builds as well. They're good, well managed. Yeah, overall with this track, I'm really appreciating the sound design and the difference and kind of juxtaposition between the calmer moments and the heavier moments. I think that works well for it. But overall, I don't think the drop ideas are anything that would make me want to return to this track again, in spite of the overall sound being a very nice listen on the ear. The ideas in the drops just don't quite hold up to me as an aspect of the track overall. Okay, next we have Short Pump by Park, suggested by F. Sam Hero Music.
Short Pump.
Short Pump.
Very interesting. Not sure about that percussion in the background. It's just a bit off. Oh, but that's good. And I really like the way that the end of that second drop just kind of cut straight to the midsection without even properly really trying to make it kind of smooth. I really like the way that it kind of just cuts off and goes straight back in. And this really is a beautiful midsection, isn't it? Bloody hell. Some pretty big names commenting on this thing, you know. I think only 1.3k followers on SoundCloud. It's a really decent track. F. Sam Hero Music, thank you very much for showing me this one. I'm liking it a fair bit.
Short Pump.
Nice and intricate, but very vivid and alive and in your face, in spite of there not being that many sounds. Oh! Finishing with a bit of a skittish bang. Yeah, and the vocal samples in this one as well. Top notch. Overall, that track has got a lot going for it. I like it. I'm definitely gonna give Park a follow and check out some other stuff from him or her or them. Alright, next we have Crucifixion by Bohemian, sent in by Bohemian himself. This is building well, building nicely.
Yeah, play some fucking rhythm or something.
Classic. Oh. I like this. I like the general bounce of it and the swing of it. I think that I'm not sure that's adding anything to the drop for me personally. I think without that, it could have been, not it could have been, but I think it would just have much more of a focus on the sounds that are there. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm listening to this and I'm bopping along to it, but I'm imagining what it would be like without that. It's just distracting slightly from those earthier, grungier sounds. But overall, I'm liking as I said, I'm liking the swing and rhythm of this one. Maybe, again, there could be a VIP here where you just add in a couple more sounds and take away a couple ones as well and, like, experiment with this idea, because it's a really good one. The swing and rhythm is there. The basis of it is very, very good. Top notch. Next, we have Battlegrounds by Tasconix, who I know from the comments section of some of my videos, but also some of Erin Crawford's videos, aka Rinnie, and it has been sent in by her. So here we go, Battlegrounds by Tasconix. The artwork. Love it. Like the gloomy notes. Percussion could be a little cleaner. This is nice. Oh yeah. Again, this is a track with some really good sounds in it. The construction of which, just a tiny bit clunky. Too many sounds, I think, kinda fighting for the space that they're in, if that makes sense. Good sounds being used here. Just the putting together of them that needs a little bit more work, I would say. Some very good moments in this track. Just needs a little bit of refining generally. And again, that's something that will come with time and practice, Mr. Tasconix. Great to hear some of your music finally. Okay, following that, we have First Contact by Rejak, and that has been sent in by Hatchet Rave.
Multiple tangos inbound.
Pretty savage. Oh, that percussion is good. I like that. Oh yeah, go on then. The sounds aren't that well defined, but it doesn't really matter because there's such a good dynamic between them. I find myself just giving a little one of these, you know? Little one of these. More of the same. I appreciate that. I like consistency. Yeah, solid rhythm track, I would have to say. I want to say it's one of the better ones I've heard in a while, but I mean, quality-wise, it isn't like the level of a Never Say Die Black Label by any means in any respect, but I just like the dynamic between the sounds on show here, and I don't feel like it drones on that much in comparison to others that I've heard. Okay, next we have... Let's see. Looking for ones that I haven't heard of the artist at all. Gonna go for Promises by Nero. Obviously I have heard of Nero before. The Eugene Rethink, sent in by Harold England, and I mean, someone find me a more English name than Harold England, please. That is absolutely magnificent, Mr. England. Nice. That's quite nice. Oh, where's this track going? Oh, good percussion.
What's in here? Gentlemen, it's a nuclear device.
Oi! Go on then! Yeah. Fuck yeah. Would be great if he or she could have reworked some of the bits from the original a bit more, and the drop kind of seems again like a completely separate track. Oh. Plodding along. Oh, yeah. Obviously, for want of saying this, but it's a bit too, like, heavy and a bit too, like, but yeah, it just could have done with a little bit more of a spark at points going into the final kind of fifth of it. It's just a good coming together of little concepts there. So yeah, decent remix. I would recommend it. Okay, next we are going for Mental by Delay, sent in by Slang Suffocation. That's quite a good name, I like that. Very tricksy, very alien-like. Oh. Oh. This is pretty good. 38,000 followers on SoundCloud. 80,000 plays on this track. Can't believe I haven't heard of this guy before, or girl. It's an interesting kind of psychedelic turn the track has taken. The individual ideas I think are good here, but in bringing them together, I'm not entirely sure it sounds that cohesive as a single piece of work. Alright, next we have Bring It Back by Subsound, sent in by Ouch Dog. Sunny. Yeah, fuck yeah, come on. Nawtystep in a building! I mean, the hashtag is dubstep. I can't believe it'll go to dubstep from this, like. Yeah, it's more of a complex strobe, but I mean, very, very nice coming together of sounds. Ooh-hoo-hoo! Yeah, boy. I found myself a new artist. Thank you very much, Ouch Dog, for sending this one in. These bits are so jokes. I love them. Tiny little bit of an like of an electro swing kind of feel to it. But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's just so much stuff like available to like hit you in the face. Like, it's great. Really liking that. Woo! Chills right at the end as well. That was a banger. Oh yeah, big tune. I'm liking that a lot. Thank you. Once again, Mr. Ouchdog. Okay, following on from that, we have Twisted Piesky with Closer to You, sent in by John Travolsky, and I know that this is someone that he has wanted me to review for a while, so sorry John that it took so long, but here I am, finally getting round to it. Oh my god, it's 13 minutes long. I'm gonna have to skip through this one a little bit, John, but I like the hashtag on this one, ambient dub techno. It's not the kind of words that you would normally kind of associate with each other and bring together. But I think those are definitely the vibes that I'm getting from this one. It's very chilled. It still has that underground feeling to it. And yeah, a bit of a techno pulsation to kind of keep it ticking along. Yeah, this was a very welcome suggestion to kind of have a moment of reflection and toning down for the video overall. I'm getting some real Massive Attack vibes here. Yeah, good track, John, and that definitely makes me want to check out a lot more of Twisted Piesky's stuff. So yeah, thank you for sending that my way. Next, we have Sin by Masher, sent in by Turtle Herder 77. Big ups. I should have heard this one because I follow Heavy Artillery recordings, but not sure why it slipped past me. The sounds are good here. It just needs something a little bit more to kind of push it further. It has got a very good energy to it, and as I said, a lot of the sounds used here are very captivating. By this point, around 3 minutes into the track, like, I feel like a lot of the sounds are getting quite incessant, almost overwhelming to a point. Yeah, some of it's just slightly misguided, but I mean some really good sounds in there. Just needs a bit more refining in terms of like the length of it. Decent track, decent track. Next we have Seiya with Black Hoodies, sent in by Mr. Naruto from Tokyo Ghoul himself, aka Wally Wobble. Oh. Oh, I can hear that tribal percussion. Percussion needs a little bit of clarity to it. Once again, this is a case of good sounds and a good dynamic between them, but there's something about them, the way they're presented, and I don't know, kind of the definition of them that doesn't quite stick with me. And there are some moments where you're just wishing for it to be a bit more, I don't know, fleshed out than what it is, and with a few more sounds added in those gaps that are present. Yeah, I think this one started off really well, but the way in which it progressed, I'm not sure it kind of held up to that introduction. It seemed to kind of deconstruct more and more as it went along, and not in the best way. As I said, some nice sounds on show here, but yeah, mostly in terms of the overall definition of it, can't say I'm quite feeling it. Next we have Stallion with Blow Up, sent in by none other than That Skater Brian, also known as Brian Majestowski, also known as the Festival Finesser. Can I get a yer? This is nice. I like this kind of setting the scene. Oh. Oi! Yeah, I like this one, yeah. Yeah, boy. Bit Bridimy. A little bit Bridimy. A little bit of Bridim in my life. I like how it just takes your attention in so many different directions, with all the sounds and like moments of contrast. Oh, got that little, all those little drum beats like do 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 do. Whee! Yeah, 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 yeah. I really like that. Blinkle, blinkle, blinkle. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. The kind of distinction between the different sections is plain for anyone to see or hear, because it's music after all. And a lot to take your attention in different directions. It's very aware structurally and synth-wise throughout the track. So yeah, good one. Thank you for the recommendation, Mr. Majestowski. Time for Dark Sky by Drop Gun, sent in by my good friend FP Fataliev. Yeah, I've seen you in the comments many a time, Mr. Fataliev. Let's go. Interesting mix of vocals. Oh, yeah, I like that. Oh! Yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me. It's a tiny bit messy in terms of the coming together of sounds, but I love the general energy and brightness of it. Not necessarily dark though. I kind of expected it to be a bit darker with that title. Little bits of composure at points where it doesn't need some sounds and could just do with the bare elements that it has, like the vocal and the percussion. So yeah, at points there seems like there's a bit too much going on. And I did expect something a little darker, as I said, but overall I think it's a pleasant track. And following that we have Nights and Shit by Dakai. Interesting title. Sent in by Seth.Critchley via Instagram. Thank you, Mr. Seth. Let's go. Yeah, a little bit of Monty Python. Loving it. I sense a rhythm. This is good. The intro and build was so good, but the drop is just a bit weak. I think the idea follows on well from the intro and build, but the sounds are just a bit scratchy and muffled and not completely audible. Yeah, again, with the progression. Vocal samples are so good and they're all used so well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a bit... You don't get the feeling from it because it just feels a bit scratchy and distant. It's not quite... It's not delivering what it should be sonically, in a way. Next, we have the Calacal Project by Zucchini, sent in by OJGGR. I don't know what that stands for or how to say it. Oh, drum and bass, yes! 6.5 minute track though, so I might have to skip some of it. Liking this intro though. Oh, it was featured on Noisier Radio as well, so it must be... They must be decently big. Interesting. Conceptually, it's a very intriguing track, and sonically also as well. I mean, those sounds have like a weird kind of allure to them. It makes you want to like it, but I'm not sure that it's offering quite enough in terms of the amount that's there. In spite of the sounds used being great and having a nice kind of definition and clarity to them, I'm not sure that there is enough there to really get me moving. Really nice interlude going on here, actually. And by the way, it's actually by the Calacal Project, not by Zucchini, funnily enough. But yeah, not gonna lie, I mean, this is one of the more interesting drum and bass songs I've heard recently, for sure. The interesting delivery of it definitely makes me want to check out more stuff from them, or him or her. So yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. I will go and check out some more stuff from the Calacal Project. Next we have Mania, I think that is, with the 2 V's, and Nawtystep with Black Magic, sent in by Voidling. Decent intro, bit of a storytelling vibe to it, grungy. Yeah, good, great build. Oi! This is great, like, I love the general energy of it, and the sounds are on point. It's got that tearing, ravenous bro step, but kind of rhythmy appeal at the same time. But the percussion in the drops is kind of, feels a bit constricted. There's something about it that makes it feel a bit straitjackety. The percussion at least, but the sounds, the dubstep is great. Oh, got me. It's very woolly-like, so definitely a bit of a Briddim influence in there, and a sweet outro to boot. Interesting track, some good sounds. I'm not too big on the percussion in the drops, as I said. I think it constricts it slightly, but overall, pretty solid number, has to be said. Next we have Turnian Sound by Parasite 6, and that has been sent in by Con Riddims. Fuck you, McDonald's! Stop killing people, you bastards!
I will find a way back to my own time.
Okay.
Vanquish the very demon himself.
Oi! Yeah, boy. This is proper old school dub, like. Very nice. Very early, like, Rusko, Scream, Benga kind of vibes, like... Filthy, man. But in this really nice, like, warm kind of way. Definitely makes me want to check out the rest of the EP. So thank you, Mr. Con Riddims, for showing me this track. Hadn't heard of Turnian Sound before, and now I'm happy that I know of them. The penultimate track is The Warrior of Dubstep, fantastic title, by MDK, and that's been sent in by WCRII, who's been on the comments many a time. Interesting. Little bit of pirate step going on here. Mate, if you like this track, then you have to listen to the Brig. He is unbelievable at stuff like this, like... Oh, it's so cheeky, I love it. I mean, Work is definitely needed here on the clarification of these sounds and the refining of them. But the overall feeling and like just the overall bounce and happiness of it just makes it quite irresistible as a listen, I think. Like, it's just a fantastic assortment of sounds. Like, how can you not find that completely joyous? Oh, it's just so much fun. Like, I think it's just fundamentally a very, very fun, joyous track.
One step don't make no sense.
Oh, decent. Thank you, WCRII, for sending that one in. And to finish off, we have a track that I've actually heard already, but which a couple of people recommended to me for this video, and that is Mastodon by Solaroid. And this is apparently a tribute to the one and only Mastodon. A very good listen. As I said, I've heard it before, so I know what's coming. But yeah, if you haven't, then let's just rock out to it. Got that eeriness and atmospheric feel to it, with those horns in the background. And those sounds in the background are classic Mastodon and bwow, bwow.
This is a certified Mastodon ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big tune, and it does go some way to mimicking almost Mastodon, but in a good way, Yeah, some really good sounds here, and they're brought together really well. It's just got a really nice balance between sounds, and the sections and the transitions between them are really good as well. Points where it could have been a little tidier in terms of when the sounds come in and how they're, introduced. But no, overall it's a very good collection of ideas within the 4-minute 23 runtime. Yeah, I mean, it's just a very solid dubstep track and decent tribute to Mastodon. And there we go, guys. There we have it for the Your Suggestions I Review video. If you enjoyed this video and would like me to do it again, then let me know in the comments. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it and would love to do it again myself. And the songs as well, did you like some of them or not? Did you find out about something you hadn't heard of before? Again, just get commenting and yeah, I'll see you down there. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hitting the notification bell along the way. If you're not following Nawtystep already across social media, then get doing so. All of that is linked in the description box down below. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know, guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.